Welcome back, guys, to the channel, the one and only home of the ectomorphic workout. We are on our way to the gym here today, and as I mentioned in the previous video, I wanted to talk to you guys about the basics of stretching. What kind of stretches I do beginning before every type of workout, whether it be a chest day, back day, leg day, whatever. Just the minimum, about 10 minutes to just get your muscles warmed up and limbered out for what you're about to do. Nothing crazy, not trying to be gymnasts or anything, just simple stretching to keep you safe and keep your muscles healthy for what you're about to do. So I'm gonna do a commentary voiceover style for this one. So I'm just gonna have her film and show you the stretches, and then I'm gonna talk about them in detail. And yeah, we're gonna see if this works. So here we go. Alright guys, let's give this a shot. Bear with me if it doesn't work out very well. It's my first time trying it, but I wanted to give a commentary style video a try and see if you guys like them and see if I want to do them going forward. So this is basically going to be the basic stretches I do before all my different types of workouts. I'm going to start out with legs. As you can see here, most importantly, I want to hit the hamstrings because they're can stay really tight and they're going to be used for a lot of exercises such as deadlifts and squats quite heavily. So I like to start out slowly, just bending over, touching my toes, and getting them just a little warmed up and let them know that they're going to be worked today. After about 3 of those and maybe about 15 seconds touching my toes each, I like to get down on the floor and do one leg at a time. That hits the inside a little bit better and also hits a different angle, and I can also get a better stretch with one leg at a time. So I'll do again 3 each side for about 15-second hold. Then I'll switch over and hit the adductors in the middle of my legs here, and I'll do a butterfly, as it's called. As you can see, I try to make sure my back is really straight and bring my torso forward, so that really gets the best stretch. All of these will be for 3 holds for about 15 seconds a piece with 30 to 45 seconds rest between. Next, we're going to get on the floor and we're going to try to stretch out again the adductors and the bottom of the hamstrings. This is going to be the muscles that you're going to use when you go deep into your squats, so we want to make sure they're good. Again, it's going to be a 15 to 20 second hold for 3 times for each side. I'm shortening this because I don't want to do it full length for you guys. That'd be too long. So we're just going to hit each leg and just bring it out and wide as if it was the same position if you went, I guess, all the way to the bottom of a squat. Now, this is a little trick I found to hit glutes. I was unable to find them for a long time, but as you saw, I grabbed my ankle and kind of brought it towards myself. If you twist your leg just a little bit, it'll give you the ability to hit the glutes, and you'll really feel the muscle fibers grinding against your hips down there, which really stretches them out. So I'll get it and I'll slide it from inside to out, so because the glute goes all the way from the inside to your hip. So this is a really good way to stretch those glutes out and get them activated, because they tend to be really hard to get going and really challenging to find when you're trying to do squats. I'll also hit them a little more and try to hit the abductors on the outside by doing twists and get my lower lumbar a little more stretched out. I like to just lay there for probably a good 30 seconds on each side once, just to make sure that my lower lumbar and spine is ready to go. Next, we'll go into some lunges. Now this is going to be for the front part of your hips. Now I had a bad issue because I have scoliosis, so my hips tend to be a little imbalanced sometimes, but this just follows right along the inside of your hip on the front there, right where I just touched, and that gives you the ability to stretch these out. If you really push forward and put that arm up, this is something that can really start to lock up during squats, even though they're actually not getting stretched during the squat, but they're still holding a bunch of weight. So here I am now switching to stretching the quads out a little bit. I can do that. It's easier to put your foot up on a box, but since I didn't have one, I didn't want to interrupt the people in the back, so I just put my heel up against the wall. But as long as you're putting your hips and your pelvis forward, you can still feel that stretch in the upper section of your quads, and that's really good. They say not to necessarily do too much of the holding your heel behind your butt like I do here, but as long as you're not really forcing it too hard. As you can see, I just rested against the wall and didn't try to pull it all the way beside me or to my butt or anything, because that tends to be a little much on the lower part of your quad around your knee tendon and your patella tendon. Now I like to finish off with actually just doing some air squats because I really just want to get my knees warmed up, my ankles warmed up, my hips, everything, so my body knows that it's about to do this particular movement. Now we're going to switch to the upper body, and I'm going to show you lats and triceps 2 in 1. This one is pretty much the only one I know of to do triceps, is to really just pull your elbow behind your head and then get your hand flat behind your back. Triceps are a little more challenging. This is also a good stretch for lats. You can also do anything that, if you were to put your hands against the wall, anything that puts your elbows up as far as they can go stretches your lats. Now switching over to the front side, we're going to hit some chest. I found out that an upward angle where your hand is above your head and you twist and you put your arm back behind you, that's the best way because the fibers are also connected downwards. So this gets the whole area of your chest. If you try to just, as you can see, I twist down a little bit, and that, for me personally, helps my chest get stretched out a little better. Now, along with chest, you want to get some shoulders, because either if it's a shoulder day or a chest day, to get the back side of your delts, you want to just do a regular arm across and just try to feel that stretch on the back portion of your shoulder. That's pretty straightforward on that one. Pretty commonly used, actually. Lastly, I want to try to get the front part of my delts by just putting my hands as far back and reaching up as far as I can behind me. This will stretch out the front of your shoulders and deltoids and also get a little bit of that chest at the same time. And not too much you need to do for biceps, as you can see. The most I can think of is just try to stretch out your forearm. Biceps pretty much get stretched when your arm is straight, so there's not much you can do with them. You can put your arms behind you to get a good stretch, but they don't need it as much. Lastly, I want to hit your rotator cuff. This is something that is really commonly injured, so it's really important that you warm it up and you keep it strong. A lot of people forget to exercise the rotator cuff, and this is the muscle that basically rotates your arm inward and outward. It's the connecting part of your shoulder down inside where the actual ball joint and socket joint is. As you can see, all I did was get an elastic band connected to anything and just rotated it in and out. Just a very strict motion. Then I switched to up and down. These are the most important and prominent motions of the rotator cuff. You just want to get a light resistance and just get it warmed up. You could even do this with like a 10-15 pound dumbbell. Same principle. The shoulders, you just want to make sure, because the shoulder joint is the most movable joint in your entire body. As you can see, it can hit the most different angles because your elbow can only go out and in, same as your knee. So you want to be able to make sure you get it real warmed up. So just rotate it around a little bit, really utilize those resistance bands, and just make sure that your shoulders are good, flexible, and warmed up. Back is something that can be a little harder to stretch. As you can see here, I just like to hunch my shoulders and really try to stretch out those traps. You can also grab onto something on the wall and just pull yourself away from it. Other than that, get on the lower lumbar machine and just really try to stretch your lower back, and that's about the most important things you can do. Lastly here, we're going to hit abs. All you have to do is just elongate your stomach as much as possible, and that will get the best stretch in your abs. I like to just move them about a little bit to get them warmed up, to make sure my core is strong. Alright, thank you guys so much for watching. This was a very condensed version of stretching. This is the basic things I do. Just wanted to show you how simple it is to do 15 minutes of stretching before all your different workout styles. Stay tuned for the next video. We're going to talk a little bit about my condition. Thank you guys. I'll see you next video.